We'll see how forecasting happens, how correlation, we have already seen that. Let's see some forecasting things. In this particular example, we will try to forecast some data. So let's see here. So what happens is that, let's take an example. One of my friend came to me saying that, okay, I have some, I know that you do a lot of analysis on different types of data. Is it possible for you to forecast my profit? So what kind of profit I will be making based on the units sold. So like if I sell 1000 units, what will be the profit that I will make? So I say that, okay, it's not possible to forecast it directly. We have to have some past data, because predictive analytics only work based on some descriptive analytics. So we ask for the data. So what he says that I don't have any such data. We will be definitely talking about something called forecasting here. So I said, okay, fine, you show me at least, you just give me some base data, like how many units you sold and how much profit you made for, let's say, last 1 year. So he said, okay, fine, that particular details I can give. So what we do, we take up this particular data. So this is 1 month's data, and what he wants is, like, he will just put like this, units sold, and he will get the profit amount. So this is what the understanding is. So for this, what we will be doing, we have to first understand whether there is any correlation between this units sold and profit made. So what will I do? I will just highlight this data. So before doing the correlation or doing the correlation study, I will definitely say that, see, there is some inconsistency of data. So in the month of May, you sold 1760 products and you made a profit of 51,000 rupees. However, in November, you sold same amount and you only made 42,000 as profit. So he said, yes, we had to give some discounts, very heavy discounts in the month of November, seeing some festive occasions and all those. So we could not get so much of profit. So he said that, okay, I agree that there will be a difference in terms of profitability. So he asked me, like, is it possible to give me a range kind of thing? I said, okay, fine, we'll come to the range part, but first of all, let's understand whether we will be able to find out a correlation between your units sold and profit made. So simple, what we will do, we will have two data here. Last time also we checked the X and the Y for calculating or getting the historical, based on historical data to find out the trend. Here also we see that some historical data is there and we are trying to find out some trend. But this time we will be using some better tools, a better function rather to say, to do this analysis. First of all, we will say that, okay, I need to gather the correlation between these two items. So I will select this and then I will go to insert and then I will plot a chart here. So to find out correlation, there is a chart known as scatter chart. We will plot this particular chart. So this is my chart. Okay, so let's do one thing. Remove the grid lines here. So that it looks like this. So what we do, we plot a chart like this, and then we say that, okay, fine, I see 12 months different observations. These are the units sold and this is the profit made, and I see that there is a positive trend in that. So the more units you have sold, the more profit you have made. That is very natural also. So he wanted to get some speculation done based on this data. So we proceed further and we say that, okay, let me find out the trend line of this particular analysis that we have done. So we had used a scatter chart to get this particular observation trend line, and to gather it further, put a concrete result, what we do, we right click on any one of these observations and go to add trend line. The moment I go to add trend line, I see that Excel has already added a trend line. However, I wanted to know what is the basis of adding this trend line. So we go to the right hand side, so we see that the trend line options have come, and then I have some options here which says display r squared, and then I also take the display equation on chart and I close this. So now what happens, Excel gives me two things, once the trend line and also the equation. So this is my trend analysis. Okay, so what we have got is a positive trend line, and we see that there is a number that is appearing here which says r square equal to 0.7796. Now what is this r square? R square is actually a term related to regression coefficient, or we call it coefficient of determination. So in simple terms we can say that these dots are actually 23% or 22.04% farther than this particular trend line, or in other case we can say that these particular dots, these particular observations are 77% closer to this trend line. So if these dots fall exactly on the trend line, then this r square will be 1. So this means the regression coefficient will be, determination will be 100%. So if it is 100% or 1, then we can say that it is absolutely correlated. But in our case we see it is 77.96, which is also a good number to start with. So what we say that, okay fine, I get a value. So r squared, why it's r squared? You can see that when a trend line is drawn, some of the points are above the line and some of the points are below this particular line. So we say that if you simply take r, then the positive and negative values will negate each other. So that's why what we do, we will actually just say square of that particular value to negate that option. Now once we have got this analysis, so first of all we will check this particular equation. So what is this equation? So this is in the form of y is equal to ax plus b or a plus bx, so whichever ways you say it. So actually it is y equal to a plus bx. Now since a is negative in this particular scenario, that's why it gives us as bx minus a, which is absolutely correct in this particular format. This is minus, so that's why it has come here. So it says bx minus a, so a plus bx format, y equal to a plus bx. Now what is this x and what is y? A and b are coefficients. So this is b, this is a, and this has been calculated using some regression algorithms, which is absolutely fine. However, we wanted to know what is this x and y. So x is the number of units sold and y is the profit made. So let's say based on this particular calculation of a and b, is it possible to forecast my profit for 1000 units, let's say? So yes, I say yes, it is possible. So what we will do here in this particular scenario, we will say equal to, so a is what? A is actually this particular value minus, so here if I just put y equal to as plus b, whatever formula is here, if I simply say like this, 40.92 multiplied by 1000 minus 9629.1. If I simply say like this and press enter, I see that I get a value. So how will I tell about this particular data? I can say that if tomorrow or next month if you sell 1000 products, then there is a chance that you will be getting a profit of 31,000. So now he is saying, what do you mean by chance? Am I not going to get this particular amount as profit? I say yes, you are going to get, but there will be a deviation, there will be a variance in your data. Why? Because I have seen that in your past 1 year data, there was a variation. So what is the variation? The variation is of 22.04%. So what is the variation level here? If I wanted to check. So the variation level here is, see, this is my data. So variation will be equal to 1 minus this particular data. So if you convert it into percentage and put it like this, so it will be 22.04% deviation. So I said, okay, fine, give me that particular value, whatever the value is, give me that particular value, like whatever deviation. So minimum how much profit I will make and maximum how much profit I can make. Because business runs on these two terms, like some risk factors are definitely there. It will be either negative or positive, or they will either make more money or less money. So if we know the range, then it is always better for us to give a thought on how to run the business and go about financial calculations. So what we say that, okay, fine, we have gathered the value here, which is 31,291 based on 1000 units sold. So there is a deviation or variation of 22.0%. So there is a function, actually whatever we have calculated here, there is a function to do the same thing in Excel. We say the function is forecast. So forecast is similar to trend. Here the advantage is that it works on a single set of data as well. So trend, when we saw trend, it was like working as an array. So it will directly apply to all the values at a time. But here forecast can actually work on a particular a single point of data also. So we say that, okay, forecast X. So what is the X value? This is my X value. And then it is asking, give me the known Y's. This was same as in trend also. So it says, give me the Y's. So I say this is my Y's. Y's is nothing but my profits, the last profits that I have made in past 1 year. And then is asked, okay, give me the X. So I say the X is the units sold, the units that I have sold in past 1 year. So these are the three parameters I am providing to this forecast function. And the moment I close my bracket and I press enter, I see the same number flashing over here. So this confirms that the regression that has been used to get this particular forecasting value is actually linear regression.